Hello. So today I'm changing tack slightly. I'm going to try and do something original for a change instead of just keep doing patterns from dieselpunk. Although I do have a handbag to make, which is a dieselpunk pattern. They're good patterns. So today the subject matter is EDC, which stands for, if you're not aware, everyday carry. I guess it's a more hip way of saying handbag. I kind of developed my own one. That's the thing about an EDC. It's quite a personal thing. It's something that is a way of easily carrying the items that you want every day. Hence, everyday carry. And quite often, things like pen knives are referred to as an EDC knife, an everyday carry knife, which in the UK is a little bit harder to have because we have some quite strict knife laws. So it is possible, but it can be quite difficult to stay legal. I was going to talk a little bit briefly about how my personal everyday carry evolved. It started off as mainly around the motorbike and needing to carry the ignition key. On my particular motorbike, I have a Triumph Thunderbird, and the ignition key kind of goes in the ignition. It's kind of underneath my right knee. It's not in the headstock like most modern motorbikes are. It's a bit of an old-fashioned place to put it. But it meant that even having a key ring on it would cause it to flap in the wind and smack some of the fairing, and therefore leave a mark. So I could never have anything other than a standard naked key, which is great until you try and walk away from the bike. Like, where are you going to put the key? In your pocket, etc. Then you've got all the usual issues with, you've got a key in your pocket that's going to dig you in the leg if you try and sit down. You could lose it easily because it's not attached to anything else. So I came up with this idea. Because I wanted to carry several things. They were mainly bike keys. At the particular time that I made this, I had two motorbikes. And I came up with this idea. It's an adaptation of an original idea I had. I only had one compartment that did that, and the key goes in here, basically. So when it's folded like that, if the key goes in that way up, when you fold it like this, there's no way that the key can come out. Even if this flops open or is not secured properly, the key can't fall out very easily. And because I had two motorbikes, I obviously had two ignition keys, but on one of the motorbikes I had a set of panniers that had their own individual keys, and they went in there, so I could mount two keys in here. I also had a Zippo lighter. This is an actual official Zippo lighter pouch. It's supposed to be on a belt loop. I took the belt loop part off, and because I still carry a Zippo, there you go, perfect fit. This was how I originally sealed the ends of all my stitching and stuff when I was doing leather work, and when I was working for a well-known shoe repair chain. Having a lighter that you could carry on your belt meant that somebody else couldn't nick it. We also got staff discounts on Zippos, so everybody had a Zippo. It was pretty good. And that was quite a simple thing. It just went on my belt, on my bike jeans, or leathers, whatever, and I could carry multiple keys. And then in the morning, if I thought, you know what, I'll go on the cruiser today. I already had the key with me. I didn't have to go back inside and think, which key is it, or remember to pick the key up or anything like that. When I got up in the morning, put my trousers on, I had my keys. Easy. And that is another part of how an EDC should function. It just should make your life a little bit easier. The other thing it does is get loads of crap out of your pockets. I like to wear trousers that have multiple pockets, which is great. But sometimes they're in the laundry and I have to wear a pair of jeans. And these don't fit in jeans pockets very easily at all. In fact, I'm going to make an EDC right now that is going to get my phone out of my pocket. But I'll just show you what I mean, because this is my current EDC. Right, I'm going to pause and take this off so you don't need to see me taking my belt off. Yeah, here we go. So this is mine. Let's angle the camera down a little bit to make life easier. So the things that I wanted to carry with me, after I'd stopped riding the motorbike quite so much, I realised there were certain things that were very useful. I still have the lighter in the middle there. This is extremely beaten up because it's just worn every day on all my trousers. I have my Leatherman. This is a Juice CS4. It has a non-locking blade that's less than 3 inches long, which means that it's legal to carry in the UK as a penknife. Anything other than that, you have to have a damn good reason and be able to prove it. So that I can carry legally as a penknife. I did originally have a Sam Brown on here, but as you can see, the hole pulled it through. Yeah. The tops of these, this is actual Russian hatch. It's not an imitation. It is actual Russian hatch leather. So I'd Google that if I were you. Could be quite interesting. And in this one, this isn't the original torch that was in here, but this is just a little torch that does fit. And it's quite a useful little thing. It's USB rechargeable. I'll put a little tag on there to get a hold of it. I live in Scotland. It can get quite dark quite rapidly, and there isn't a huge amount of light at certain times of the year. Having that in your pocket is brilliant. Or I say pocket, it's actually on your belt. For the eagle-eyed among you, you can see that it's a little bit thicker. And that's because if I just pop this open like this, there's my mark, my crest on there. It unfolds into a rather grubby looking canvas bag. So if there you go, you can press stud that shut. There we go, I made a canvas bag. So this is so that I can, if I'm out for a walk with the dog, and I find a bunch of mushrooms or berries or anything like that, I've got a bag, a little collection bag that I can carry, do the collections in without having to go and find a carrier bag. If I'm out bushcrafting, I might need some kindling. It's handy just to have something other than your coat pocket to stuff it all in. It's proved to be extremely useful to have a bag on your belt like that. You can get them separately. I have made them separately so that they just kind of fold away and are secured shut with a nice tab. They work, but I carry mine all the time, every day. Right, I'm just going to pause again so I can put that back on. Or else I haven't done my belt back up, my trousers are going to fall down. I nearly forgot I do have something else on my bag, on my belt, sorry. I made this about 3 years ago when I first got Harry. It's a little pouch that I put his training treats in. I'm not going to unsnap it because he does seem to... There he is. He does seem to know the particular note of this snap. And if I unsnap it, he leaps up and runs over. I'm beginning to wonder whether or not I've trained him to just respond to the sound of this snap opening or closing, or whether or not he's actually paying attention to me. I'm not entirely sure. So that's also on my belt every day. That's something I have with me all the time. So the problem I'm having with my jeans is that I've got my wallet in my left pocket down here. I've got keys and change and a handkerchief in my other pocket. And that is pretty much everything that can go in a pair of jeans pockets. Now, I absolutely love my phone. I'm a bit of a gadget freak. And this is my phone. It's a Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3, and I've got a customer about to walk in. Apologies, excuse me. Apologies, back now. Just having a nice little chat with the customer there. Yes, so as I was saying, this is a Samsung Z Flip 3. Not sponsored or anything like that. I absolutely love it. I enjoy having it with me and using it. The only thing is in my jeans pockets with a wallet as well, it's quite bulky and difficult to put my hand in the pocket and get it out. So I'm a leather worker, let's make something. Let's find a way of curing this first world problem. So what I did first of all was get a piece of paper and work out roughly the size of the phone and the depth of the phone. So I doubt it can be seen on camera because I haven't done this in black. You can see an outline on that piece of paper there. Yep. That is the outline of the phone, essentially. Then I've added onto all three sides half the depth of the phone plus a 5mm seam allowance. Then I've used this to replicate the back part of it. and added a lid. So the lid now, oh sorry, I'm making, there we go, that's in shot there. Added a lid that will do that. This will be held shut with, I think I'm going to use a press stud actually. Not a press stud, a press popper, kind of one of these doohickeys. And probably the securest way of doing it. On the back of that, I will have to just glue a piece of leather to make sure that it's not going to scratch the heck out of the phone. It's covered in an armoured case. It's got something over the screen because there's a screen on the outside of this phone just there, you see. That's all in place and ready. I've had it since probably about September time. It's on a 2-year contract, so this holster is going to be with the phone for the rest of its life with me. It'll be fine. Just in the sense of trying to make these videos a little bit shorter, I did all the working out and cutting out off camera. Apologies if that's something that interests you. If you feel outraged by this, feel free to leave a comment. I will go back to doing it the other way. I just thought I'd try and make the videos a bit shorter. So there we go, there's the 2 halves, and there is the belt loop to go on the back. So the first thing I've got to do is work out roughly where I want the belt loop and get that sewn onto here first. I did put 2 stitch line marks on there, and then realised I have 1.25 inch belt, and that is exactly 1.25 inch between these 2 inner marks. There's no width allowance or depth allowance for my belt to pass through it. I wanted to put 2 lines of stitching on there. I'm just going to end up putting 1 on it. It should be more sufficient to hold it anyway. This is the really nice Italian leather. It's for me, why the hell not? Right, you want to go past or something? Okay. Sorry, Gregor's in the shot with us as well. He's just kind of hovering in the background over there. Yeah, with a silly grin on his face. He's not, no. You never normally are up to anything until you are up to something. If you ever wondered why there's little googly eyes on all my tools, his fault. They appeared everywhere. Right, so if you saw yesterday's video, if you didn't, shame on you. Go back, like it, subscribe. If you did see it, you'll notice that I had the camera at a different angle. So in order to carry on working with this, I'm actually going to put the camera at a different angle now. It's the same camera, I've just got to pause and move it in between shots. It's convoluted, but it's going to work. It'll look good, I promise. Alright, one moment. Right, so that's the camera angle sorted. That's the back with the lid on it. And I've marked up where I'm going to put the belt loop, which will go there. So I'm just going to scuff this up and get it ready for gluing. Wherever my scour has gone. There it is.
I'm going to go Emmy in a little while.
Okay.
I rinsed it out and got rid of the dead fly that was at the bottom. Alright.
The reason I'm doing this is so that the glue will actually stick. This is an oiled and waxed. Oh, excuse me. This is an oiled and waxed leather. It doesn't tend to respond to glue very well on the surface layer, so removing it like this actually gives it a temporary boost. It will leach more out after a while and the scuff marks will disappear, so it'll be harder to see. The glue is mainly there as a backup though. Stitching tends to hold it in place quite well. Let's wait for the glue to flow out of the pot. Oh, come on. tends to get a bit thick and gloopy, this stuff. There we go. Alright, just give this a moment to dry. Once it's ready, I'll be able to heat it up and glue it. That's dried out enough. I can just warm it up. Sorry about the noise. There we go. Right, that's now ready for me to mark up with the stitching iron, wherever it's gone. Where'd that go? Try not to nudge the camera whilst I'm looking for it. Got. Well, wasn't what I was looking for, but I've got one at least. Here's the. See, look, Gregor, I'm using my piece of plastic.
Well done.
Where the hell did my mallet go now? Ah, got a mallet around here somewhere. Right, mystery solved. I found it. Okay, so I'm going to ignore that inner mark along here because that's in the wrong place. I'm just going to sew like this. I'm going to go a couple of stitches over on the outside, so I'll do one stitch on there before I go up onto the actual leather. I've actually just decided to experiment a little bit further with this particular method with the camera, where it's sorry, I'm just trying to work this out, where I can bring it in close like this over the top of my work. I've just ordered a boom mount for the camera so that I can bring it in close. Excuse me a moment. Right, I completely forgotten what I was saying there, actually. Customer's just been and gone. Oh yeah, boom mic. That's what I was going to do, yeah. Not a boom mic. A boom stand for camera. I'll be able to adjust the angles, still using a single camera. Adjust the angles with it a little bit better now. Let's just move that on a bit. There we go. Right, now I'll get myself set up to just do this sewing. And so now you can see why I've ordered one of these flexible kind of boom things for the camera. Because I only have the one camera and I think I need to move it around a bit more and vary things and be able to get it a bit closer so that people can see what's going on. Right, so I think we're going to go with a green thread for this. I'm just going to cut this off. probably far too much. Where'd my needles go? Oh, they're there. I was using these to make the dragonflies last night. Alright, just going to thread this up. These are quite chunky needles actually. I don't know where I found these, but these are probably a little bit on the large side. And one stitching all. Safety thing. Wrist strap. Oh, what a difference it is just to sew through like 1 or 2 layers. Even up the thread. Yeah, after making that cookery sheath where I was sewing through at 1.7 layers, nearly 16 millimeters of leather, this makes a huge difference. Of course, I think it would also help if I didn't have such honking great needles. I'm going to have to find my other set of needles in a moment. Just realised I didn't actually burnish the edges of this. I was concentrating on thinking to myself, I've got to burnish these edges and everything, but I won't do that until after I've assembled it, because these two edges are going together like this, so that edge will be like that. That means I've got to sand them together and stuff, so messed up slightly there. At the end of the day, it's the belt loop on the back of my phone holster, so Yeah, if you guys' conversation doesn't want to go on this video, you might want to close that door. It's the whole. Alright, there we go. Oh, camera is there, Ben. Is it focusing? There we go. I'm just going to use this because whilst the Zippo does work and work quite well, this has a slightly more directional flame to it. And repeat, but this time I'm going to find some slightly smaller needles, I think. Ah, sorry, I should have paused that. There's some smaller needles in there. Yeah. That one, and that one. The same size. More thread. Uh-oh, here comes the mother. She's bellowing at the top of her voice as she walks in the shop. Excuse me a moment. Right. Mother and her posse have left. Oh, hold on. There you go. That's easy. Now I've got the right size needle. I bet I've done too little thread now. I think I'm going to kick myself in a minute because I don't think I've got enough thread here. Oop. Just about got enough thread. Just about got enough thread to do this. I know it looks like I've got a lot, but if you don't have enough to be able to handle the needles, then you haven't got enough, basically. Right, stitching all done. I won't get too close to the camera because it probably will just go out of focus. Apologies, I hadn't actually intended to have the laptop in the background there. Let's see if I can... No, the cable on the camera probably isn't going to allow me to do that. There we go. So I'll just check and make sure that my belt actually goes through that loop now that I've physically attached it. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea, really, would it? Yeah, we're all good. It fits. It's a little bit on the tight side, but it'll loosen up. I wonder where... Ah, there's the bone folder. Just in case it's a little over glued on the inside. You can use something like this as a bone folder. It's a plastic. It's called a bone folder, but it's made out of plastic. If I do this, it'll shape it up a little bit. So, next thing is to put these two parts together. So that's just going to take a little bit of glue and a little bit of sewing. Because despite the fact I've used the pattern to replicate itself, it's still got... Yeah. It's really hard to get two parts of a pattern to match up exactly like this. So it's... At least it is for me anyway. I never work good at it. Right. So if you want to leave in the comments any thoughts about these camera angles, do you prefer the one it's in at the moment, or do you prefer to be looking directly down on what I'm doing? Considering that half of my actual viewing audience from last night's video is sitting in the shop with me currently, chiefly Gregor in the corner over there, at the time of airing, last night's video had been watched twice. Once by Gregor, once by somebody unknown. So he said that he liked the top-down view that I used last night. So I will use that again. Probably going to have to watch this video back tonight, Gregor, and see if your squeaking chair can be heard by the mic or not.
Yeah.
I've got like 2 stools in the shop, and the one I'm using doesn't have any moving parts, so it can't squeak. But the one Gregor's got has got an almighty squeak to it.
The fact is I've not wobbled at all. It's just moving my hands.
Oh yeah, you don't have to move hardly at all to make it squeak.
Oh.
just going to give that a few moments to dry. Actually, I haven't really put enough on that bit there. Terrible job that's gluing. Sometimes you find that the glue might absorb, the leather might absorb the glue, and you have to go around and do it twice. Right, that just needs a few moments to dry, and then I'll come back to the sewing bit, which is why I haven't bothered to de-rig this camera. In the future, with this moving boom mount kind of thing, I might be able to move the camera quite easily in between shots. So we'll see how that works. Right, back in a moment when the glue is dry. Right, okay, that's all good and dry now. Let's get the heat gun in. Doesn't need much heat to do this, but best to get it warm. Let me just see, can I get that? Yeah, sticking to my finger because I've got residual glue on it, so. Right. So you can see there's a, possibly in the camera there, you can see that there's a distinct excess on one part of the leather. That's a mistake that I've possibly made whilst I'm making the pattern. I don't know. It seems to be pretty even all the way around the outside edge. I need to trim that off. I've lined it up on this top edge here and here because that would be a pain to try and trim that bit down in particular. Let's see if I can do this with the knife then. I'm still going to have to take it over to the machine and sand it though. That's right, you can't see it on the camera. So this is where a roll cut comes in handy. Well, it didn't come out too badly. There's a grumble from the other side of the shop there. I think Gregor's having some trouble with what he's trying to do. What's up, Gregor?
I just keep putting the needle through the thread.
He's piercing the thread with his needle. Never a good idea. I feel your pain. Oh, sorry, I just nudged the camera. Right, I'm just going to sand this before I mark it up for stitching. I'll be right back. Alright, probably just hear the machine spooling down the background there. Alright, let's get... Edges just need a little bit of a trim. After you sand with like an industrial sander, it gets kind of burr that appears. You can see the difference there. I've got this burr coming up on the edge there. And that's basically what I'm taking off with this tool. Just rounds the corner off a little bit. Makes everything nice and neat. I'm going to get to it like that, am I? There we go. Got a little bit of a tag kind of burr thing on the end there, so I'm just going to sand that down and get rid of that. Nice. So I'll do the burnishing once I finish the stitching. I just need to put a 3mm stitch line on it. So just adjusting my caterpillar? Caliper. Adjusting my caterpillar. Yeah. A snort of amusement in the background there from Gregor. Probably not going to live that one down. I wonder where my large pricking iron went. There we go. The usual hunt for Ben's tools because they're never in the same place twice. Got it. Oh dear, oh dear. This will actually be a worthwhile experiment because since I did the last stitch line for this, I've actually repositioned the microphone. You can just see it in shot. It was on here, which is not connected to the bench that I'm hitting with the maul. It's now connected to the same bench that I'm hitting with the maul. So we'll see how well it comes out, shall we? You might be able to hear this very clearly. I can hear the camera rattling. Well, that works out perfectly. Starts and stops with the holes in exactly the same place on either end. That's perfect. Normally you have to kind of jigger the last one in or overlap it or something. Yeah, no, that worked. Right, so now we need lots more green thread. The needles, need them back again. Let's do about maybe that much. Get his needles back in. Don't put needles in your mouth, it's a dangerous idea.
You say that after I've been doing it all day.
Do as I say, not as I do. Alright. Needles threaded up. Needle stitching course. There it is. Oh, it's so nice to be doing something that doesn't require me to try and climb inside a handbag or sew through immensely thick pieces of leather. It's like the difference between night and day doing it like this. It's like you've been wading through 4 feet of snow and then you suddenly walk out onto a completely defrosted piece of smooth tarmac. Aren't you muttering about?
Nothing.
I don't know if the mic can pick that up or not. Gregor? You might want to close this door. He's kindly left the room to go and bang some holes in something, but I don't know, the mics might still be able to hear him, I'm not sure.
Thought it'd be much quieter.
Thank you. I don't think it is much quieter. I don't think it was all that much quieter, mate. You can still hear it.
Oh well.
I don't know. The mic probably didn't pick it up, so. Oh, it's so frustrating when this happens. Bloody mask. that's better. Oh, excuse us a moment. Back again. Do you know what? I need more light here. I'm getting old and this is dark. One moment. This is just... Can't see a thing. I can't see the holes. There we go. Probably hasn't made much difference as far as the camera's concerned, but I can now actually see something. Just going to try something. There we go. Just thought I'd tweak the camera angle slightly. Next thing on the wish list is a better camera. Oops. Right, that was a spam phone call. They annoy me as much as spammers in the comments of YouTube videos. Seriously, people, there are better ways to earn a living. Tighten that up so it doesn't wobble much. my phone on silent, did I? there we go. That's got that sewn. I just cut that off of there before realising I hadn't started the camera again. Let's move a few bits out of the way and rearrange slightly. Actually, come to think of it. Where is my phone? Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to find out if this actually fits, wouldn't it?
Oh no, camera's got to do that.
There we go.
Tell you one thing, I won't be making this pattern again. Even if it works.
Alright, so that fits in there. I was afraid of this. It might take a little bit of time to loosen up. That's the only thing. Alright, I might do some manipulations of this. 1 second. I'll show you what I mean. Right, that's repositioned a bit. This is what I've been using for the close-up work. It's actually clips onto the rail underneath here, and I square lash it with a piece of thin paracord. It's supposed to have this magnifying glass mounted on the end of it. Because it's like one of these gooseneck things, it does the job quite well actually. But I have got one of these on the way now, which I can put the camera on, so then I can change the positions. It might help make things a little bit easier for you guys to see, because until I can afford a new PC and get multiple cameras, I've got no real way of repositioning or changing anything, really. Right, so where did that go? Ah, there we are. What I can do to try and make this fit a little better is I can run the bone folder around it like this, just following the phone on the inside of it. And just adjust the position of it every time. See that there? Yeah. And this just basically speeds up the process that will happen naturally as it forms to the shape of the phone. Because this isn't wet molded or heat molded or anything like that at all. It's just going to sort itself out over time, which is great because it does work quite well that way. But at the same time, if I can speed it up slightly, it's going to there we go. So you can see the shape of the phone is appearing in the leather a little bit quicker. The lid still works quite nice and neatly like that. Now, yeah. I did wonder if I might have a problem with that. Let's just make sure it's all freed off on there properly. Yeah. Didn't know how well it would or wouldn't fit, so if I can continue to manipulate this a little bit. Should help me get the fit where I want it to be. It basically needs to be a little bit looser so it's not holding it quite so tightly. And I think, I'm wondering if I cut a little bit out there. Let's get that out. Oh, that came out a lot easier that time. That did. So maybe if I can give myself something more to grab hold of there. The best way to do that, I've got a hole punch that's quite large. I'd contemplated that I might have to cut a hole here in the front so that I can push it up with my left hand as I'm trying to get it out. But it might also help if there is a small hole at the top. It will, of course, be hidden by the flap there. Because that's the next thing I've got to do is cut or make a hole in that for the press stud to go on, which I should go and grab now. No, these ones do. These do. Thank you. Right, that's the press stud machine and an errant press stud. There. That's right in the way, isn't it? I need that one and that one. So if I work out where this is going to go first, I can see how much of a hole I can cut. My fingers would stop shaking. There, that's good. So I'll just push that down. I've made a mark using the rivet there so I can figure this out. I think it's that one. Yep, that one. By doing that, and then doing the same trick again by pushing it down like that, I get the exact mark that I need for the next hole. Which I obviously can't cut if the phone is still inside it. I can't actually get it out now. There we go. Shut up. Like that. This is worthwhile having. This thing here. Oh, I didn't bring the other set of dies for it. Basically, the inside half of the doohickey goes in there. I put that in the receiving part down there. I push this handle down. It should locate exactly on the top of the rivet. Job done. Perfect. I just need to switch this over. Should be a white box with a magnetic flip lid on it. Thank you. Top. Right. So the opposing part goes in here, you just switch it over. It's a bit of a pain when you're only doing one at a time. But if you've got like 3 or 4 to do, You can go along and do one half of it and then get the other half done immediately. Yeah, you see what I mean. You can do like a little production line of it. Just have to make sure you get the right parts. So this time round I can do that and then realise I can't. How am I supposed to put that in there? Idiot. Ain't gonna work like that, is it? This machine's really great. Oh, yeah. Got it. And basically, yeah, it produces a perfect burr on the inside, better than any of the hammer tools I've ever tried to use. They generally tend to be quite cheap and destroy themselves quite quickly, or I destroy them quite quickly. It doesn't, it depends on how you want to look at it. I'm going to experiment with it a little bit. I might put a patch of thin leather on the inside of that, as I say, so it doesn't damage the phone. The phone has got like a case armour on it, so that's not too much of a problem. It will come off. I just need to, as I say, get that to shape properly, which it will do over time, but I don't want to just put my phone in there and never be able to get it back out again for the next 3 weeks whilst it shapes up properly. I'm just going to beat it up a little bit and see if I can get it to work. Right, I've got over here somewhere. I have that and that. Alright, so I cut this off of one of my chopping boards a while ago. It means I can put it inside things like this. So I'm basically going to cut a thumb hole using this. It's the biggest hole punch that I've got currently. It is 3/4 of an inch. There we go. Right. Loud noise, put your fingers in your ears just in case this makes too much of a noise. Be interesting to see how that comes out on the recording. You alright over there, Gregor? Yeah. He normally shits himself when I do that. There's a little thumb hole there now. Let's see if that can improve. It will free off eventually. How long that takes, I don't know, but given the amount of times in a day that I take it in and out of my pocket, it probably won't take it that long to work on there. I'll see how it goes, and then I could possibly cut another hole using the same method. I'll just put that inside there, like that, and then just use the same punch, make a bigger hole in the bottom. That will then give me the ability to give it a quick push from the bottom to help it come out. You know what? Stuff it. I think I'm going to do that anyway. Seeing as I'm here. Get that down as close to the stitch line as possible without damaging the stitch line. Loud noise. I warned you. There we go. That's going to make life easier, isn't it? All of a sudden, a heck of a lot easier. Alright, I'll get these edges burnished. That's job done. Hey! Back in a mo. Right, that's got the edges all burnished up on it. I've put it on my belt. There you go. Quite neat and small, isn't it? If I pop that open. It's still going to take a little bit of work to get it in and out until it's loose enough. But there we go. Physically got to work out how to do it myself, but yeah. Let's adjust that slightly. There we go. Well, thank you very much for watching today. Just to prove that I can actually design something original and don't always have to use other people's patterns. Saying that, tomorrow I'll probably go straight back to doing somebody else's pattern. So thank you very much again for watching. Please like, please subscribe, please share. If you like what we're doing, leave comments. Tell me you don't like it, tell me you like it. It'd just be nice to get some comments and get some interaction going. As soon as I can go maybe back to some live style stuff, maybe I'll find some smaller projects so that the videos aren't quite as long. But I will go back to try and do some live things if I can. It's just a limitation on technology, but working on improving things as much as I possibly can still. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.